socialism, Sharia, and everything bad. These were the ingredients chosen to create the perfect leftist. But Professor Chink accidentally added an extra ingredient to the concoction: progressiveness. Thus, the Squad was born! Using their ultra superpowers, AOC, Ilhan, and Rashida have dedicated their lives to fighting America and the forces of freedom!
Can't taste anything. That must mean I have the vid. Have the old co-video, the old blockbuster co-video.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. I don't know. I do have a slightly scratchy throat because we were doing a show.
So you have vid.
And the what?
Vid.
Yeah.
Vid. Quarantine him.
All right, everybody. Sorry. Okay, so.
Vid.
We have a lot to get to today. My headphones going to be a little bit of weird. I think it could also just be my ears are blocked.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, my ear, everything sounds like I'm in a wave pool right now. We have a lot to get to. I don't know if you know this. Elizabeth Warren is now calling for an investigation into Jared Kushner, who's the son-in-law of President Donald Trump, and also with you.
Oh, my goodness.
A little bit of anti-Semitism going on there. But I don't know if you know why. Perfect timing, because right now we're finding out that Hunter Biden, remember, he's not president, but it turns out he was funneling a lot of money to his dad, former Vice President Biden. A lot. We now have more texts, emails from the infamous laptop. I don't know if it's number 1, 2, or 3. So we'll be talking about that. There's no denying it anymore. Criminal, former Vice President Biden. We knew he was criminally insane. Now he's just plain old criminal. We'll also be talking about Florida banning some math books. Not banning, just prohibiting them from being taught in a curriculum. And comparing it with, banning, I don't know, To Kill a Mockingbird from the left, because this is what we're going to be talking about all day. Before I move on to any of that, let me ask you this. What song, question of the day, would scare you most to be heard at 30,000 feet above sea level if you were on a plane?
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear, I just want to hear, like, what is it that would maybe, raise your cackles?
Free Falling?
That's a good one. Mm. Or if they're playing the Ultimate Warrior.
Fire.
I'm going to take this plane into a nosedive. Hulk Hogan. Like, why is Ultimate Warrior flying this?
That's
I don't believe he's FAA certified.
Crash into me.
Yeah.
For 2 reasons. One, it's terrible.
Right.
Yeah.
Just the pilot changing word. Can you take me lower?
No,
Really,
go higher.
Is this a parody? And we're going to die?
Oh, that's a really weird way to tell us that he wants to kill himself. Also, let me tell you this before anything else. We did not do a show on Thursday. We told you that we weren't doing a show on Thursday, but this was last Thursday. Shows all this week.
Yeah.
If you don't see us on YouTube, we haven't let you know. We're still streaming live Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Just go to Rumble or go to Mug Club, where we have an entire, basically double the show. Double mint show. Okay.
It's not double.
Oh, also, I should tell you that, before that, let me move to, is that done? Gerald A., how are you?
I'm well. How are you, sir?
I have a sore throat.
But we already know that.
I know.
Did you sleep well?
I just want the sympathy. No, I didn't sleep that well. It's hard when you can't sleep that, when you feel like you just performed services on the device from 7. And you know him, you love him, at Landau Dave. He's going to be this Saturday in Virginia Beach doing shows. And then it's a Funny Bone. And then him and I, of course, are June 18th, Pikes Peak Center in Colorado Springs. There are a few tickets left. Tulsa is sold out. We apologize. Dave, how are you?
Good, ahoy. Sorry about the services.
Dave's a little out of focus.
Dave's a little out of
Am I?
focus.
Oh, gee.
Well,
sure?
you know what? Saturday's shows went late. He might be a little hazy.
Yeah.
He might be a little hazy from the Wormwood liquor. Dave's a little hazy from the Wormwood liquor, man! Now.
That makes your throat feel better, I'm sure.
Well, they asked me
Great
at the
idea.
show, they asked an encore to do Gilbert Godfrey.
Oh.
And I honestly, I was starting to tear up because I missed it. It was really hard. So I'm like, and what? You're still going to make me do this?
I was glad you did it, though. I wanted you to do it.
They're like, yes, we paid for a ticket. You must do
You
this.
must do Gilbert Godfrey. Dance, joke, monkey, come out, little symbols.
Yeah.
Okay. Before
totally do that.
any of this is just to show you, and again, none of us here are condoning the depravity of the world, but we do have to address it. In case you guys don't know, we are all happy warriors here, but that's what you see. That's after the processing in the morning. Our morning, and mine starts like at 4 a.m., is waking up, reading the news, and going, son of a bitch!
I just cry.
And then we somehow have to turn it into something that, you don't have to react that way. So, Duke University, their Divinity Pride.
The hell is that?
You'll see. They held their first worship service where they worship God, the great queer one. I'm not making it. Here we go. Let's watch.
Super.
Good morning, the holy and queer one be with you. We want to affirm
Tammy
everyone
Faye
to be
Caker.
who they truly are, to step into the Holy One's fire that burns away all that says we are not good enough and refines us by the Pentecostal fire to be who exactly the great queer one
Is she going to
calls
start speaking in
us to be.
swollen tongues?
Strange one,
Yes.
fabulous one, fluid and ever becoming
Just
one.
swollen from a busy
Do
night.
not allow us to make our ideas of you into an idol. You are as close to us as our own breath, and yet your essence
looks like you're out of it.
transcends all that we can imagine. You are mother, father, and parent.
Elton John's
you are
biggest
sister,
jackass.
brother, and sibling. You are drag queen and trans man and gender fluid, incapable of limiting your vast expressions of beauty.
Ah, yes, the great drag queendom of the Lord.
Why do they know the words?
Why do they? Yeah, exactly. They've done this before.
Yeah,
It's
no
like
kidding.
drag
They
queen.
practice.
You're commenting on the Lord's clothing.
Well, by the way, I thought you said he's genderless. That means he's gendered and going the other direction.
Yeah, you
with
can't
it.
be a drag queen if you're a female.
You're
You're just a
nothing to
girl.
do. Yeah. You're just, the great asexual one, I guess. I don't know.
Weird. You get to heaven, it's just God doing the time warp.
Yes.
This is bizarre.
St. Peter just walks up. Time is fleeting.
Yeah.
Oh,
what?
boy. Yeah.
Strange.
St. Peter, you're riffraff?
Weird.
I had no idea you were riffraff. I love how they say, let's not let our ideas of you create you into an idol. And then you talk about his clothing.
Yeah. Then you make an idol of him.
Yeah.
Completely an idol.
Completely an idol with all complete with a Prada sponsorship.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just kidding. Whatever the big and tall shop is. What is it? Talbot's? I don't know what they wear.
Can we
I
kick
think
them
it's
out of
Talbot's.
school now, please? I don't want them getting any further education. They're dangerous enough as is.
It's just. It's like I know you don't believe that.
You're right. Where's the Kool-Aid when you need it?
Yeah, I know, really.
Oh, my God.
Why aren't you guys all wearing the same black outfit and a pair of Nikes?
Yes, exactly.
I think your ship is above.
Yeah.
Just create your just create your own religion.
There you go.
Just do that. Just don't call it. Just create your own
Right.
religion. If you want God to be a queer, genderless queer drag queen, which is an oxymoron, just create your own religion, and nobody will join.
Yeah. And he will smite thee appropriately.
Yeah, have beverages. Jim Jones had them.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I'm not saying those, obviously.
no,
I'm
but
just saying,
other
like,
beverages.
beverages you
Yeah.
could have available.
Refreshments.
Yeah, refreshments.
Yeah. Because this never ended poorly.
Gosh. Okay. And look, I actually want to hear from you. If you're watching and you're an atheist, you don't have to write because it's hard to hear you over the screams of hell. So comment below what you I'm always curious what atheists think when they see this, because we have a lot of you watching are atheists who are sort of Christian sympathetic because you understand that it's foundational Judeo-Christian principles to Western civilization. Do you understand, like, when people talk about appropriation?
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I'm going to take your God, and hey, Joe Lewis, come on, go back. All right, hey, can someone come in and get Joe Lewis? He doesn't want to be in here today. Even that, look, did you see that clip upset him?
That quickly.
It's not his fault.
That clip upset him.
really not his fault.
There you go. All right, go ahead, Joe Lewis, because it's only going to get worse. So, on the same topic-ish, there's a pastor, Jack Jens Jr., and just to be clear, this might have been a private charter plane, but it's been making the rounds, and I want to discuss Ilhan Omar, who, by the way, married her brother. All references available at loudwithcrowder.com. It's true. It
100%
happened.
true.
Pastor Jack Jens Jr. Made news, this organization, Kingdom Realm.
Okay.
Is that what it is? Kingdom Realm Ministries that
Don't
were
look at me.
filmed. I thought you would
I
know.
have no idea.
You're a donator, right, Jeremy?
Yeah.
I'm a charter member.
I thought you
What are
had,
talking about?
I thought you had cash just hidden in your wall and stuff.
Pretty much, yeah. Where do you think your 10% goes?
Yeah, don't you have a bathroom with $500,000 in it?
Yes.
Who doesn't, Dave? Let the first one among us cast the
So
stone.
Kingdom Realm Ministries, that's what it is. They were filmed playing music on a flight to Germany. So here's what first went viral, and then I'll give you the response, which is hysterical. Now, before I go to, there were some negative reactions from Ilhan Omar. Let me remind you that she married her brother, her ex-husband. Brother share the same name, birth date. This is overlay A1. Even Snopes called this claim unproven, and that's as good as they can give you. By the way, it's your job to figure it out, detective.
Snopes, it's in the name.
Snopes, for crying out loud. Yeah. Columbo, like, I don't know. It's not notch. What are you waiting for those kids to have hooves?
No, you're not Columbo anymore, then.
No.
You don't even have to wait. No.
How great would it
meet
be
him
if Peter Falk worked at Snopes? He's like, she married her brother.
Yeah. Oh. I looked. It's real.
It's real. I tried not to look.
So Congresswoman saw that. Nice Christians just playing music. Again, look, whether you're a Christian or not, it seems fine. Tweeted, I think my family and I should have a prayer session next time I'm on a plane. How do you think it will end? The implication there is, of course, if you heard a Muslim call to prayer on a plane that,
Allahu Akbar.
right, that people might be more nervous.
That one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think there'd be two big problems with that.
Yes. Something about precedent? I don't know. No, we all remember when Jars of Clay drove a postal truck into the World Trade Center,
Yes,
right?
of course.
Exactly.
Yeah, we all remember when, what is it, Creedence Walk on Water?
Yes.
Revival. Yes. Hijacked a plane.
Yes. When Sandy Patty flew a 747 into a megachurch.
Right.
We
Yes,
remember that. Yeah.
Yes, Zach Sabbath would hijack.
Yes. If you play Best of Hillsong backwards, it says, blow up American. That's weird.
Jesus,
Hillsong.
Cougar, Melon Christ. I don't know Christian bands.
Yeah, absolutely not.
I know a couple. DC Talk.
DC Talk.
I was on a flight one time in Indonesia, largest Islamic country
Jesus,
in the world.
freak 'em out.
People were wearing like all the get up and garb and chanting the entire time. And I looked at a friend of mine at the time and I was like, we're not getting off this plane.
No, you're not getting
we
off
are
this
not
plane.
making it. Of course it would make you nervous.
Of course it would make you nervous because that's what people have done historically when they've blown up planes. I know what you're saying. What about all the people who do the call to prayer who didn't blow up planes? I get
know.
it. That's most of them.
Right.
At the very least, a plurality of them. But those aren't the ones I'm primarily concerned with.
No.
It's not a double standard. It's just setting a standard.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. If Bluto Blutarski walked in, grabbed his guitar, bashed it against the wall, and handed him back the neck, I would find it funny.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Well, it's a bit annoying if that's a charter flight. There was people in the seat like as they were panning, like, really again, Jack.
Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of people that were like, yes, I believe in God too. I bet you Jesus would like quiet on a plane.
Yes.
I'm sure Jesus is like, not now, son.
He's in control of everything. He put up the no smoking sign.
Yeah. Ding. That's
Ding,
the
shut up.
seatbelt sign.
It looks like it might have been a private plane too.
Yeah.
It looks like it might have been a mega church, like a charter to fly.
Yeah, it was
around.
probably. I'm sure they knew him.
They were
But,
flying to
yeah,
heaven.
I doubt some guys like just grabbing the old guitar and gonna play.
Right, yeah. If it was, I guarantee it wasn't JetBlue because the flight attendant was like,
No.
Oh,
no,
Spirit Airlines.
that's not on my plane.
But you say Spirit. We're talking about
it wasn't Spirit because he would have used the guitar to hit somebody to get a big front seat.
I think it might have been No Soul Plane.
Yes.
full of redheads.
As white as it can possibly get.
Yes.
Even the guitarist was offbeat. But look, this is a perfect example. I don't think that the left understands. They don't have any self-awareness at this point. We'll get to Elizabeth Warren in a second. But this is just how much of a lack of self-awareness they have. They're making your point for them. Take the worst Christians you can possibly imagine. I mean, the Westboro Baptist Church, they're of course not Christians. There are 12 members. They're inbred. 4 of them have flippers, just
They're
to
a
be
hate
clear.
group.
Some
Yeah.
hoods.
Right. But even then, if someone stood up with a bomb vest, a turban on a plane and said, "Allah Akbar," and just stopped and just yelled, God hates fags, and sat back down. I'm like, I got off easy.
Yeah. And we're supposed to go like, yes.
Well, what kind of prayer session is she going to have?
Diversity is our
if I had
greatest
a
strength.
prayer session, what, grab hands and pray? Yeah, if any Christian was praying, that'd be fine. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the chanting that you typically do before blowing things up.
I may. I wish I might. Bring me a brother to bang tonight.
She already got that one. She's got to wish for something else.
I want another.
No.
Gimme.
That's
I need. Gimme, Allah. I need.
I want kids that are gross. Please.
I'm doing the work. I'm not a slacker.
Yes.
Name that movie line. Comment below. Always helps with the YouTube algorithm. Here's something else. While we're talking about all the holy stuff going on, right? We just hit the lesbian queer one God. We just hit the...
Sorry.
Here's the thing.
God.
Even if you're an LGBTQ AAIP person,
Yeah.
you don't want a lesbian God.
But don't you also want
Because lesbians aren't fun. You want a gay God.
You also don't like gays, yeah.
Yeah. No, but gay God would be fine. You know,
Gay God would be fine.
A little bit catty.
you know.
You would expect that some of your confessions would get around. You
Yeah,
know,
like Buddy Cole.
yeah. But a lesbian God, just
Sure. Mad.
Beat.
yeah, it'd just be self-flagellation all the time and shopping at Orvis. Now, during Holy Week,
Easily triggered.
yes, a group of Muslim migrants from a local shelter, they pelted Christians with rocks. At an Easter, this is the thing. It's an Easter procession in Spain, and local migrants, I'm sure you can guess, hit them with rocks. Just watch.
Madre mía, por favor, de verdad. ¿Pero quién es?
Mira, es entre compañeros.
¿Qué pasa?
¿Qué pasa? hold on. All right, other than that lady saying that, did you guys happen to catch this guy walking through?
Which guy?
Do you see the pointy hat up there to the left, maybe? What in the Spain? What in
Wait, that was in the clip?
Wow.
Yes, that was
Play
in the
that clip. That's like when.
Yeah, just look in the top left of the clip as it pans left in just a second. Not right there. It goes back. Give it another second. You see him
I
like
didn't even notice this.
walking up like, hey guys, what's up?
Hey, is this the... Oh, wrong meeting. My bad. Is it Tuesday? Oh, it's Wednesday.
Me nombre, Bird.
Maybe he was just wearing it to throw them off the scent, so they'd throw the rock and hit the point.
Yeah, usually. Oh, I guess this Sunday we don't have the area? All right.
Well, look, it actually...
It's not the Lions Club. Yeah. It's a public prayer procession, which,
Yeah.
by the way, is being attacked by Muslim
I
migrants.
could have sworn I got off the plane in Alabama. And is this not Alabama?
Hey,
Does it mean something else in Spain?
Well...
I hope so.
Is there a
If-
cultural gap here?
It actually does. I've got some notes on it because I didn't
is that
want
like
to get
the
this right. So
the national siesta mascot?
actually.
this is garb from an order of Catholic penitents who
Oh.
apparently were... The Order of Penitents was a religious order established by Bernard of Marseille, about 1272 for the reception into the Roman Catholic Church of the Reformed courtesans.
Guess what? I don't care. You don't get to wear that anymore.
Yeah.
No, he just walks up. Sorry, guys, laundry day.
Yeah.
This was old. This was my great-grandfather's. All I had.
Like, well, you didn't need to put on the hood. It's separate. That was
Well, I mean, come on. I don't want to not match.
Look how tall it is, too. He's like, I have the tallest hood possible.
Yeah, there's nothing discreet about it. It's just...
At a certain point, I mean, if Wendy's has to release a new sign, like, you guys just have to rebrand. You don't get to keep the outfit.
Even as a Klan hat, it makes no sense. If you have to go in anywhere, you have to take the mask off and reveal yourself.
Dang it, I can't see with this mask.
Every time I walk in anywhere, it knocks off.
You just don't. It's like if, I don't know, it's like Bill Burr showed up to a stand-up special in the Eddie Murphy raw leather suit, and he's like, I had it first. It's like, doesn't matter. Dude, this is my leather suit. What, just because some black guy stole it? Come on.
Yeah, it's like having the toothbrush mustache. You're like, no, it's mine first. It's like, well, no, it's Hitler's now.
Yeah, you don't get to wear it anymore.
No, it's mine. No, sorry, Laurel or Hardy, whatever one. Probably Hardy.
That guy's really lucky the cops started beating someone. Otherwise, he was next.
Yeah, he probably was just waiting for a distraction, and he's like, now's my cue.
I can walk away.
Just,
Nothing to see here, guy in the big hood.
he just lights across. They'll know.
Nobody saw me.
You're also in Spain.
Yeah.
Not exactly a lot of the people that you hate there, I don't think.
Hey, how many times have we seen in America, like, people pelt Muslims with rocks? Because Ilhan Omar was just talking about it.
Yeah, it's so terrible.
I mean, is this not a hate crime?
I would think so.
I mean, it's a
It
crime,
is.
but I don't believe in hate crimes. I'm saying by their standard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's a crime born out of love, Stephen.
Yeah. Well, that guy's love for
really.
hoods. Can't get enough of them, apparently.
I don't even care about the incident at this point. I just want to speak to this guy and be like, you know what that is.
Yeah.
Right? Come on.
I don't. Okay.
Imagine having to explain what you're wearing to everyone you've ever met. No, it's not what you think.
No, I'm
it's
Christian.
this.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what we heard.
No,
the first
Google
time
it
around.
before you hit me.
Yeah, it's like some guy whose family crest is a swastika and he has it around his suit arm. He's like, it's not. This is a Scottish.
No.
It's an arms coat. It
It was way before.
Yeah, this point's shorter.
Yeah.
It's not.
And I have to put it. I only put it there because otherwise I can't move my arm if I put it where it's down too low. So I gotta just.
It's not hawk wings. It's hawk wings, not eagle.
Yeah, not eagle.
Is that no?
It's a different bird of prey.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, I don't necessarily like them, but I don't
Yeah,
hate
no,
them.
exactly. I mean, I just like Jews, but that's not what this means.
Yeah, that's not what this is about. Not enough to get a tattoo of it.
No. And I don't have a tattoo of it. That's why I go full body cloak. So, all right, let's move on to this. This is something that the media is discussing, and they're discussing very dishonestly. Of course, I repeat myself, but this is important because I think it also draws a contrast between when people try and say, oh, the right has cancel culture as well. Look, I think cancel culture is overused. I think what we mean to convey, and this is one of those issues where I don't think we want to be reductive. I understand that sound bites work for people. What we're really discussing with cancel culture is the ruining of someone's not only life, but the removal of their livelihood for opinions that you deem impermissible. That's what we're talking about with cancel culture. We're not talking about someone being fired because they're bad at their job. We're not talking about someone who is removed from government because, I don't know, they do something illegal. That's not cancel culture. What we are talking about is the world in which we live, where you are often intimidated into silence because you know the leftist bully pulpit will try and remove your livelihood. And we see that all the time. It does not exist on both the left and the right. They've tried to say, oh, right-wingers want to ban books. Well, let me explain to you what is going on right now, and then I'll contrast it, of course, with the books that the left has banned from certain curriculum. So the Florida Department of Education just rejected 41% of new math textbooks. And the reason why, keep in mind, the key word here is math, as in mathematics. They were including things like critical race theory. They were including topics that had nothing to do with math. It was social engineering. So 41% of the books were no longer approved for the math curriculum.
I can't imagine what is in a math textbook that would indoctrinate a child.
Orange County Classroom Teachers Association President Wendy
about
Dormal says
you
she's
wrote it?
baffled after learning the Florida Department of Education
Sing
rejected
Rocket Man.
54 math textbooks submitted for the state's approved list. The state says the publishers attempted to indoctrinate students.
I'd really love to see some of these rejected books and see what they highlighted and found disturbing in those books.
According to the state, 41% of the submitted textbooks included
can't
references
take a
to
guess,
critical race
sweetheart.
theory, Common Core, and social emotional learning. Grades K through 5 had the most materials rejected. Governor Ron DeSantis saying in a statement the publishers were, quote, indoctrinating concepts like race essentialism. State Representative Carlos Guillermo Smith tweeted, saying the governor has turned our classrooms into political battlefields.
Certainly
actually
in
removed
a
it.
math book, I
Right.
can't imagine what he's talking about.
According to the DOE,
What do you mean
textbooks
you
are
can't
reviewed by
imagine?
subject every 5 years, and materials must meet Florida's benchmarks
says
for
it.
excellent
Yeah.
student thinking standards.
I can't even imagine. You're a big girl, a very big girl. You should use your imagination. Use your grown-up skills.
Right. You remember the thing you read? That.
Yes. I don't,
I don't know. I can't imagine.
that's you're being
thing.
ableist because of my dyslexia. You're a teacher and you can't read? Problem?
It's not like all of this
Yeah.
is new either. It's like, listen, Common Core. We said don't submit books with that. And they're like, yeah, but what about this Common
Yeah, what if we submit? All right, so we'll submit Common Core. No.
No.
I'm telling you, don't submit Common Core. Right, yeah, well, we'll submit Common Core.
No.
So she's so perplexed as to what kind of indoctrination material could be in there. Now, this again shows you the lack of self-awareness on the left. People on the right now, you're watching conservatives. You, of course, have heard the attack that conservatives want to ban books, right? You've heard, of course, have heard the attacks that conservatives believe in censorship. They've tried. You know these attacks. You're well aware of them. I know this because when I go on campus or when I just go out in public on a street corner and do change my mind, people who are conservative are more educated on the opposition's position. This woman doesn't even know. She's saying, I can't even imagine what might be offensive. Well, that means she's not aware of the fact that there is opposition to critical race theory. There is opposition to social engineering. There is opposition to Common Core in textbooks. It means she doesn't even know that. That tells you who lives in an echo chamber. So how about, as an example, this entire program? We've covered this before. It was called A Pathway to Equitable Math Instruction. It's promoted by the Oregon Department of Education to teachers last year. One part of it is called, it's titled Dismantling Racism in Mathematics Instruction.
I thought this was math.
Yeah, well, because you forgot to, I did think it was odd when I had to carry the hood.
Well,
It was from the Catholic order, Stephen.
a plus sign is a swastika that's not dancing.
Yeah, exactly. It's a swastika with a flat tire.
Exactly. That's what I've always said.
What about California? Their proposed math curriculum. Their Department of Education, I'm reading a quote, mathematics education in the United States was initially structured for a narrow purpose, to prepare privileged young white men for entrance into elite colleges. A particularly damaging assessment practice to avoid is the use of timed tests to assess speed of mathematical fact retention.
The narrow focus was to teach math.
Yes, the narrow focus was to teach math. And this is another thing. I understand that back in the day when you looked at IQ tests, they were not fair because often black children did not get the same amount of instruction nor the same amount of time of instruction. That is no longer the case. And if you look at the outcomes with people who are in underprivileged areas, well, look, you can't just say that there's a correlation between a lack of spending, because there's more spending often in these bad neighborhoods. For example, Detroit, for example, Washington, D.C. They don't have good performance metrics. You can't complain about, well, the teachers are being paid more in many of these places. These, as people now are getting further and further removed from what you would consider systemic racism, the results aren't improving. You can't just keep throwing money at the problem. This is the issue that they have in California. Oh, it's because we're looking at results here, and affirmative action isn't enough. So we need to change. We need to get rid of standardized testing. We need to get rid of timed testing. Hold on a second. Maybe accept responsibility that you're bad at your job, but they can't do that. So they have to throw new bullshit into the mix. So here's critical race theory being referenced by name in Chapter 2. Because the left says it's not a real thing, critical race theory. Yeah. In the California Math Framework, it says rethinking teaching and learning mathematics from a critical race perspective. Where could it be less relevant? Racial theory, which, by the way, is entirely incorrect. For people who claim that conservatives are reductive, there's nothing more reductive than critical race theory. It just says, oh, look, correlation, causation. Well, what about the fact that there were actually more people enslaved and taken to Africa than here in the United States? What about the millions of people, or at least 1 million people who were enslaved in the Mediterranean? What about the kind of results that you see in the UK, by the way, with underprivileged white people? And by the way, the term cracker, redneck existed before the United States was even created. What about those people who see the same kind of performance metrics sometimes as you see as black Americans? It certainly can't just be a race thing. All references are available at loudwithcreditor.com. I highly recommend that you read Thomas Sowell. He talks about this in depth. He's one of the best ever. The point is, you could not be more misguided or simplistic in your approach. And then you create an entire curriculum based on a false premise, critical race theory, and you ruin a generation of Americans. Here's another one. A proposed textbook for an Arizona district says that conservatives are more racist than liberals. And I don't think that right now we have any specific examples from Florida. That's the issue. It hasn't. They haven't
Actually, I did get a hold of one right here.
Oh, did you?
Yep. It is a math problem. You ready?
In Florida? This is one that they were.
This is one they're teaching. They
removed.
Okay,
but let's see if maybe you can get it.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Or we'll see why it's banned.
All right. If a Chinaman, it seems bad. If a Chinaman be on that platform and the A train coming, how much bail does my boy Rel get for kicking his ass onto them tracks?
This is from Section 2, Lesson 1. No bail?
That's right.
So it's more like it's one of those, it's a brain teaser.
Yeah, you would have got A in school.
Yeah.
See, it's not that hard.
Call it my white privilege. And so this is important because you look at what's happening here. They want to teach critical race theory. They want to teach math from a racially charged perspective because, again, their goal is to divide and conquer. Great results, by the way.
Yeah.
Great results. This is something you can also see if you look at, for example, the riots that took place in Watts or in our hometown of Detroit. These riots took place, by the way, in cities where they didn't have the same kind of history of slavery. Guess what? The cities weren't destroyed in the southern United States, where they were more closely tied directly to the slave trade. Those cities were destroyed. Places like Detroit, places like Watts, they were destroyed. Guess which parts? The black parts of these cities. It wasn't just white flight in Detroit. It was all flight. Because the left constantly wants to divide and conquer. They want racially charged riots. They want, like we see now, Black Lives Matter. If that goes away, Al Sharpton, Kamala Harris are out of a job. So that's why they want to inject race. And by that I mean racism. They want to inject racism. Critical race theory is racist. Not only is it wrong, it's racist. They want to inject that into every curriculum. So while they want to inject that and they complain when someone who's well within their authority as governor, and certainly people who work in the state legislature say, well, you know what, this is not appropriate for math. They say, oh, you want to ban books. Well, guess what? Democrats are busy banning books like To Kill a Mockingbird or Huckleberry Finn. Why? Because the N-word is mentioned in there, even though the ultimate story about Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn is an anti-racist story. Yeah. Who's being reductive? Who's being reductive at this point? I don't know. Look, you can comment below. I do not think that it's a hypocritical position to say, you know what? Critical race theory should not be in math textbooks. And I also don't think that we should ban To Kill a Mockingbird. I think that is entirely consistent. Yeah. I do believe it is inconsistent to want to ban books simply because their historical context is offensive to you today, while demanding that we inject racism into non-sociological subjects.
Yeah. Well, and don't let the left get away with the lie that they'll tell you that the people on the right don't want you to hear about slavery, don't want you to hear about the bad choices that have been made in this country, the terrible things that have happened. No, we want all of that taught. Guess what? It is taught right now. What you're trying to do is to say all white people are bad.
Right.
All white people are privileged, and therefore you guys have to give to these other groups. By the way, don't throw Asians in there because they're a little pissed off at the Asians too. They just won't say it necessarily. It's not Asian privilege. I wonder why they're targeting math though and making it more equitable.
I don't know. Was that a rhetorical question?
I mean, I think it's.
Oh, I get it.
Fairly clear.
Yeah, something about the Asians?
No, definitely not. I would never say that.
I don't believe that they understand math.
No, they do not.
No.
They do not excel in the STEM fields.
That's true.
That is not why Brown and Harvard are like, no more, keep him out.
Yeah, they're not known for being highly intelligent.
Asians trying to get into Stanford are like Urkel in the intro, and they're days go by.
Why do we want everything to be catered to stupidity? And I don't mean that anybody's stupid. I mean they want to keep you at that point.
Yes.
No, because that's the only result they have so far. Spending trillions of dollars over decades and decades and decades, asking for more money and better unions, and they have no results. So they have to change the goalposts. They have to move the goalposts.
I want all of the topics in history taught. By the way, just to be clear, when they say I want slavery to be taught. But I want it to be taught
the full story.
With who had the most slaves? Where were there the most amount of slaves? United States? Europe? Saudi Arabia? Right, the Middle East? Africa, particularly West Africa? Who had the most amount of slaves? A lot of people don't even understand. I want you to teach slavery, but I want you to teach that we had to end slavery uniquely because of our Constitution saying that all men were created equal. Guess what? They had slaves across South America and Brazil. There was nothing. The rest of the world didn't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
So there is more of a history of racism in the United States. It is true, of course, that slavery here, obviously, if you look at the Civil War, of course, was predicated on racism. But that's not why we had slaves in the first place. It's how people in the South who wanted to keep slaves, like the rest of the world, found justification in the face of the unjustifiable. We didn't bring them here under the guise of racism. They were sold. They were traded. They existed everywhere else. And then when we said, you know what, no more slaves here in the United States, there were some Southerners who said, blacks are inferior. It was to justify a practice that already existed. It's not why slavery was created, because it existed before, and it still exists today. I want that taught if you're teaching slavery. And I want you to teach long division, not what Elizabeth Warren demands you teach that day.
Oh, it's also an extremely wealthy class of people that has been put onto every single shade of white, which is very aggravating.
Right.
And that should also be taught. Who was it? It's not every single person in this country did not benefit or be hurt by the same thing.
No.
That's the part that bothers me so much. The Italians, the Irish, all kinds of people that came to this country were treated like garbage.
Yeah.
Asians in
Asians
Western
were
part of the United
internment
States?
camps.
Yeah.
I'm okay with the Italians.
Look, I'm part Italian, and I just think if you could just be quiet in a restaurant,
Yeah, exactly.
maybe it wouldn't be such a problem.
Stop knocking over glasses. You don't
Yeah.
always need to talk
Hands
with
to
your
No, I
yourself.
get it. Yeah, I get it. You don't have to talk like this all the time.
And a little gropey.
Yeah, very well, little.
A lot of
Okay, that's the Cuomo brothers. So
the brothers Cuomo.
Not all Italians are like the Cuomos.
Well, like half.
Right.
All right, Fredo.
A plurality.
A large number.
Yes. Okay.
Half my uncles.
So now we can move on to this. By the way, smash that like button if you're watching right now. Just smash the like button. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you search the title of this show, you won't find it. So tune in to watch it live. Smash the like button, comment, all that. We appreciate it. So now let's move on to Hunter Biden and former Vice President Joe Biden. First, let's use this to jump off. Elizabeth Warren,
Still a thing?
who, by the way, is less Native American than I am sub-Saharan African.
That's true. We actually have proof
We
of
actually
that.
have the genetic testing just to prove it. Can you imagine if I...
It's right here, actually.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Just I have like 1% sub-Saharan
This is-
African. If I just came out
This is
and
her
just thought-
23andMe.
Yes.
That's the result.
blank.
without the lines.
It's just without the lines, yes.
Yeah.
Those are, well, that's just because she likes those bursts.
Well, she's won 1,000.
And no one calls a left on it. She comes pow wow chow. That'd be like me coming out just doing Pryor's bits, like, man,
Oh, yeah.
people crazy smoking crack and shit.
My new soul food book, soul food book.
Yeah.
Davy's Greens.
Dave's got a great recipe for giblets.
He loves a pig's feet.
Don't
with
dwell on
Dave.
that shit too long; it'll mess you up. Now,
Curry and Dave.
way better than Mike Epps in that he does a horrible Richard Pryor. I wish I were black. Now,
Yeah, he
black.
actually
could be.
does.
So Elizabeth Warren. I need to restart because every time I say her name, I want to take a pot shot.
Well,
I can't stand her. She to me is just the most annoying. She's not the most evil. That's Governor Whitmer and then Nancy Pelosi. But Elizabeth Warren now today, and the timing is curious, said that the DOJ needs to investigate Jared Kushner. So she wants the DOJ to investigate Jared Kushner because of maybe some investment from a Saudi prince. Okay, Kushner, for those who don't remember, I know last names can be confusing. Donald Trump's son-in-law, and he's a Jew.
Oh, is she anti-Semitic?
That's what I'm wondering.
Not according to
It's
one
a
of her
question.
cookbooks.
She said, I think this is a moment where Congress needs to do a lot more about corruption. Okay, well, thank you for giving us a segue. That's what us pilgrims call a segue.
Segue.
A
Elizabeth
segue,
Warren's
lying bear.
Bagels and locks.
So, now we all know how the leftist media, right? They all wanted us to make sure that we understood
Right. Yeah.
that because Hunter Biden, obviously all of these scandals, they wanted to create distance between Hunter Biden and former Vice President Joe Biden. The answer, right, their retort was always, well, Hunter Biden's not running for president, but don't take my word for it.
Absolutely. We should note Hunter Biden isn't running for president. That argument has been debunked, and I raised it because you mentioned a
never an
national
argument.
security issue.
Tyler, I'm very confused.
Please.
I'm very confused by the
Please.
president's son's assertion
Please.
that they're really on the up and up. The Trump
Please.
presidency
Please.
has been the most corrupt administration in history, we would
Come on.
argue. His children have offices in the West Wing.
Yeah,
When
but
Joe
the debate-
Biden is elected president,
But the
let me
debate-
just tell you
please.
something. His children will not
Please.
occupy offices in
Oh,
the West
come on.
Wing. So I'm sorry to crush Junior's hopes and dreams.
You know that the people who want to make hay in Washington are going to try to use your adult son as a cudgel against you. How do you feel about that, and what do you have to say to those people?
He's pooping.
Well, look,
Oh, yeah. There it is.
I have big confidence in our son. I am not concerned about any accusations been made against him. It's used to get to me. I think it's kind of foul play, but
Very foul.
look, it is what it is, and he's a grown man. He is the smartest man I know.
Wrong.
I mean, for the pure intellectual capacity.
And by the way, he's saying they're trying to get at him, with the accusations. No, these facts that we're about to deliver are aimed at you. But that's how you know he was lying, because he went way too far. That's how you
Really?
he said, look, no, of course, it has nothing to do with me. If that's all he said, like, hey, it's my son. I'm not in charge of my son. Fine. He said, it has nothing to do with me. It's my son. It's his own thing. By the way, he's the smartest person who's ever lived. He's a member of Mensa. He's mother. He makes Mother Teresa look like a child rapist. It's like we should have then been like, is this connected to you? I don't know. I don't know about Princess Diana's breaks.
No idea.
But we know that Hunter Biden, obviously, we already knew that Hunter Biden's a crappy person.
Well, but he's super into crack.
Right, okay, yeah, of course he's into crack.
Well,
but,
he tried to smoke parm.
Yeah, well, we already know that,
Cheese,
the Parmesan
Steven,
cheese, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he's a big prostitute guy.
Yeah, he's also in bed with the Chi-Coms.
Yeah, well, okay, I already know all of that, but I just...
Oh, yeah, he even diddled his dead brother's wife.
Okay, shut up. I'm trying to do a segment. We all know that Hunter Biden is a horrible crack/Parmesan cheese, prostitute purchasing, brother's widow diddling, bag of scum, but this is about former Vice President Joe Biden and what he's done.
And he can still be the smartest man that Joe Biden knows.
Yeah, plenty of smart people smoke Parmesan cheese and drywall and bang their brother's wife. It doesn't. It's not an IQ test.
Dead brother.
Throw guns in garbage cans as well.
Allegedly.
Yeah, and unless you
No,
approve.
he's definitely
So here's what we have now: the connections from Hunter Biden to former Vice President Joe Biden.
Sorry, it's just that it's real.
It's all real. So text messages from Hunter to his daughter, Naomi, show that he's been funneling money to, you've heard the big guy, right, for decades. That was sort of the code phrase. And we thought, well, that's all there is the big guy, code phrase. At least they're using code phrases like, hawk wings, not eagle wings, to big guy, over. That kind of thing. So that's where people were speculating, well, maybe the big guy doesn't mean former Vice President Joe Biden. Right. Well, the problem is then there are other receipts that are actually written at the attention of Joe Biden.
It's like a Jesse Smollett check.
Yeah. So this is what he wrote. These are some of the texts. I'll kind of build the case here for you to his daughter Naomi from Hunter Biden. I hope you all can do what I did and pay for everything for this entire family for 30 years. Here's another one. It's really hard, but don't worry. Unlike Pop, that's his father, I won't make you give me half your salary. Now, let me start this off with some low-level expenses, and then we'll graduate to the more expensive stuff that's labeled for former Vice President Joe Biden. So some emails to his business partner, a guy named, I think it was Eric Schwerin. Just that name makes me think
Schwerin. Schwami.
So emails, and they were titled JRB bills. Now, I know you have the big guy, like I could be anybody, and Hunter Biden saying Pops, you're like, I could be anybody. And now you're like, Hunter Biden sending emails to his business partner, JRB bills, that could be any person. It doesn't mean it's Joseph R. Biden.
Joseph Rubinowski.
Don't worry, it gets worse.
Junior Biden.
These are labeled JRB bills. And here's where some of the money was going. So air conditioner repair for Joseph R. Biden, $1,239. That's actually a good deal for air conditioner repair.
That's not so bad.
Yeah. I actually thought that would be more fiscally irresponsible. I mean, it's illegal.
Yeah, well.
But that's a good deal.
Yeah.
I'm going to need to find his guy. A painter for $1,475. Fixing a stone wall. Probably tried to smoke it. $2,600. Now, Schwerin, at the time, was president of this. It was Rosemont Seneca Partners, okay? And that was Hunter Biden's Chinese-linked investment firm. They also had access to Joe Biden's finances and his tax return.
Oh, no, that makes sense now.
What?
Well, we all thought that Hunter smoked, the cheese because he was a dope, sick rock fiend.
Yes.
But it was really because he couldn't afford any decent crack after giving all of his money to Joe.
I don't know the going price for crack, but your theory seems sound.
Yeah.
Thousands of dollars could have been put to better use.
Yeah, I mean, it's really not so much the going price of crack, it's just the amount you use.
Right.
Well, right.
Yeah. The key is the poison's in the dose.
Yeah.
Also, the poison's in the crack.
The fentanyl's in the dose.
So let's go to some big ticket items. You're like, some AC, Stonewall, whatever. Well, it's still illegal, especially considering that Elizabeth Warren wants to investigate Kushner right now, and this is something the media will try and keep suppressed. Let's go to some other expenses where Pop is connected. Over the course of 11 years, Hunter Biden paid former Vice President Joe Biden's cell phone bill, totaling $25,000. Also, by the way, Joe Biden, you actually qualify for the T-Mobile senior discount.
You should be using that. Cricket Wireless.
Yeah, that only makes 2 calls.
Right.
Cellular One.
That's not the only $25,000 expense.
Jitterbug.
In 2018, Hunter accidentally transferred $25,000 to an escort named Golnura. And that actually forced the Secret Service to show up at Hunter's hotel, and a former agent sent him messages. Again, this is all documented, references available at loudwithcarter.com, telling him, he said, you need to come out. And he was reminding him that the hotel room was linked to, quote, Celtics account.
Wait, Larry Bird is involved in this too?
Well, we can't rule anything out, but I should have mentioned, in this case, Celtic was former Vice President Joe Biden's call sign. That was his call sign. So we have JRB bills. We have the Celtic account. $25,000. That's, by the way, that must be a fantastic hooker.
Well, but in the memo line, he wrote not a call girl.
Right.
So I don't think we can hold it against.
Unlike Jerry Springer, who wrote a call girl.
Again, it's just the lying is too much. It's like, he's the smartest person I ever know. Hey, was that a hooker? No, I specifically wrote on the check, not one. Why don't you just write, like consultant?
Yeah.
Couldn't think of the word.
Also, you used a check with a hooker. Is that bad?
You stayed in your dad's hotel room. That's also bad.
Yeah, use cash. Really? I never thought about that.
I didn't know hookers carry square.
That's bad.
And again, it's funny, but here's the thing. It's their depravity knows no bounds. They don't fear accountability at all. That Hunter didn't think twice of paying a hooker with a paper trail, because he never. The media is not going to call him out on it. Not only will the media not call him out on it, the media ran interference for him, right, with the New York Post story.
Yeah.
Before the election, and then said, by the way, this has nothing to do with former Vice President Joe Biden. The story was true. We know it was true. That was absolutely election meddling, and now we know that there are hundreds of thousands of dollars that have gone and been funneled from Hunter Biden to former Vice President Joe Biden. There is a connection. It's illegal.
Yeah.
And whistleblowers.
Yes, and whistleblowers.
Well, they're alive for now.
Well, yeah, for now.
And also, by the way, it seems like he's doing pretty well today.
Good for him.
Hunter Biden. I don't know where he makes his money. Oh, that's right. Illegal. But that's how he affords his swanky Malibu mansion. He's like Charlie Sheen in 3.5 Men.
Somebody else has put down stakes in the boo, and that is Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's
in the
son.
boo?
He's moved to Malibu, rented a house.
Is that one of the broken
really nice
lizards?
house.
I'm being serious.
It's $20,000 a month. That's what it was going for.
What?
Yep, $20,000 a month. He moved, we're told, maybe 4 months ago, but it's been kept in the down low. The reason we know is the Secret Service, which is swarming that area.
Oh, no.
That's, I believe, one of the Secret Service vehicles. There are Secret Service
Their
all
job's
over
to
the place
keep
there.
him in the house.
They're going up to neighbors now, and they're asking, would you rent your house to us for the next year so that we can do our thing? They didn't say it was for Hunter, but obviously it was right across the way. And they want to make sure they can keep an eye on things.
But don't worry, that Secret Service detail is only costing you, the taxpayer, $30,000 a month.
Wow.
That's a deal at twice the price.
Imagine thinking like, oh, man, and Robert Downey Jr. just got clean and lives in this neighborhood. Right. How many grown men are going to sleep in my kid's race car bed?
Yeah. So think about all of this does seem a little... It does seem a little curious to me, right? So we have, Elizabeth Warren right now calling for an investigation into Kushner.
Yeah.
Okay. Hunter uses his dad's political clout to secure, like Scrooge McDuck size bags of cash from China and get himself board seats at Ukrainian energy companies.
And an insane house.
Yes.
An insane house in the most expensive area you can live in America, basically.
Right. And then he also takes some of that money, turns around, the money he made off of his father's name.
Right.
And gives it right back to former Vice President Joe Biden, right? So he takes money using his name and then gives kickbacks to former Vice President Joe Biden. Receipts we have them all at loudwithcrowder.com. So that would mean Joe Biden's a criminal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's a criminal, right?
You're right.
He'll be going to jail.
It's illegal.
For most people.
As in not legal.
Yeah.
I always thought illegal back then. It was completely legal. I am the most legal ever.
Again, Joe.
I wrote not illegal on the check.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
That's what I wrote on it. Didn't you? Can't you read?
Smartest guy I know.
By the
Smartest
way,
guy I know.
some interesting news that I've heard right now is that WikiLeaks actually has access to all of the data on these hard drives and will start to kind of throw that information out. So I'm hoping that that is 100% true and that we can verify that at some point in the near future, because if it is, like, everything's coming out from it.
Right. And by the way, the FBI raided, remember, Giuliani's house.
He had it right there.
And that was the one thing they didn't want. So think about this. Think of it's this amalgamation of pure evil and corruption. You have somebody who's suckled at the public teat for over 50 years, former Vice President Joe Biden, who hasn't worked in the private sector, hasn't earned an honest dollar for 5 decades of his life, a screw-up son who bangs his dead brother's widow, allegedly, definitely, uses his dad's name to funnel money back to former Vice President Joe Biden. Then, of course, gets caught in these scandals, committing crime after crime, which, of course, not only is there a financial liability with former Vice President Joe Biden, there's, of course, a security liability because it can be used as leverage when someone is committing such awful crimes like pedophilia, as Hunter Biden was, like drug use, like throwing a gun into a trash bin. But instead, the FBI, whose job is to root out corruption, that's what you assumed at one point, right? You assumed that the FBI were the good guys, go into Giuliani's apartment and take everything else because they're going to investigate him while leaving the laptop, which we now know is confirmed and was also suppressed during the election by big tech. We have the former vice president of the United States. We have his son and international relations with the Ukrainian, Ukrainian government by proxy.
Yeah.
We have the FBI involved doing their bidding for them. And then we have big tech ensuring that you never hear about it before the election, even though we know that that verifiably would have changed the vote in every single swing state that exists. And then they blame you. They blame you for showing mistrust in their institutions. At a certain point, and I mean figuratively, you just got to burn it all down and start from scratch. I mean, I don't know if this is fixable, this ball of twine at this point. If you think there's a way to fix it within the current system, let me know. Comment below. It helps the algorithms. We're going to play bad movie lines, and apparently...
So, sorry. Actually, this just came up. The new...
I was on a roll. This better be good.
The new
hot
woke,
buttery one.
The new woke MCU movie, Thor: Love and Thunder trailer just dropped, and we have that trailer.
Wait, what?
For you.
What?
Wait, hold on a second. Okay. Because my mind is still on smoking Parmesan cheese, $25,000 for a hooker with a check! Michael!
Well, so
Not a
instead
hooker in
of
the memo.
bad movie lines, we want to show you Thor 4: Love and Thunder, where Thor becomes a woman.
Oh, on Mug Club?
Yeah. Well, we could do it in front of the paywall.
I think we should do it
if you want.
Wait.
Hold on a second.
That's a good idea. You're right.
Wait, everyone pause. How mad is this going to make me?
I haven't seen it yet. This just came out.
Thor changes his name to Whore.
See, this is where the problem begins. I think this should definitely be
Don't slut shame the Marvel
I know,
universe.
I'm kidding. I would never.
You can't pick
It's a
up that
great
hammer.
idea.
Yes, I can pick up the hammer.
I don't know. I'm
just
worried.
gets weaker.
Should we be doing this in front of... Should we be doing this on YouTube, or should we do it on Mug Club?
What if we showed it now, gave
Mug
like
Club.
initial thoughts,
There
and then
you
we
go.
go into Mug Club?
There you go.
And
Okay, how about this? Be
the
ready
spicy
to
stuff.
piss off YouTube at a moment's
Okay, hold on a
notice.
second. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start watching this.
Okay.
But you have to follow my direction. Because I do not want to get suspended on YouTube for a Thor trailer.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't know. Is it Thor or it hurts?
And it's called it's called Thor 4. Is that right?
It's called my ass is Thor.
Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder.
This sounds like an Australian male strip club.
So like love and basketball.
Yeah.
So you have to follow my instruction.
No.
And by the way, depending on how many likes we get right now on YouTube, maybe we'll do it. We'll do it. Let's say what do we want to say?
Like 10? Is 10 good?
No,
10
let's say
too low.
Let's just hit the like button if you want me to. But we're gonna start playing this.
Okay.
And then if I can feel the rage bubbling, I'm trying to.
Yeah.
I'll just say stop it, and then we'll do it on Mug Club. Because remember, we got in trouble. We got suspended on YouTube because the transgender individual who threw a hobo's lunchbox at me.
Yeah.
We laughed at that person. Remember, we laughed at that person committing felony battery against me, and we were the ones who got struck. So I'm very. I don't know what's coming at me here. I know it's going to be bad, but let's start it. And then if I say stop, we stop, and we go to Mug Club.
If it's the little girl from Adventures in Babysitting, I'm cool with it. Other than that, I think I'm going to be confused.
Yeah. All right. Let's
see.
Let's.
All right, here we go.
These hands were once used for battle. Now they're but humble tools for peace.
And washing my new breasts.
I need to figure out exactly who I am.
Wait.
Oh boy.
This reveal is what. The Judah Friedlander?
Yeah, is he Bubba Gump?
Live in the moment.
I was running.
My superheroing days are over.
No. I mean, I already don't like it because it's not my style of.
Remember what I told you?
Did Marvel just buy the GNR catalog?
I think that.
Just look into the eyes of the people that you love.
All right.
Not me. What? Just listening.
No, guys, let's go to Buck Club. This is only gonna. I'm just not gonna be happy. I'm not gonna be happy with myself. YouTube, piss off. YouTube, piss off. This is gonna get bad.